Hi, everyone. My name's Sarah. Right now I'm in the Region 3 Leadership Academy, and part of one of my projects is that I'm going to record a video with my daughter, Crystal, and we're going to role play an informal A meeting. She's going to be playing supervisor. I'm going to be playing steward. So here we go. Hi, Supervisor Crystal. I'm here to talk to you about an issue that we had the other day. Do you have a few minutes to meet with me?
Sure, we can meet. What's going on?
Well, the other day we had a carrier. It looks like she worked over 10 hours and she worked off of her assignment, but she's a work assignment carrier.
Okay. Um, but I thought work assignment carriers they can work up to 12, can't they?
Well, they can, but only on their own routes. Once you move them off of their own routes, you have to treat them like you would treat an 8-hour carrier who's being forced to work overtime and they can only work up to 10.
Okay, but she's unassigned though, so those were the assignments I gave her for that day.
Well, the schedule said that she was scheduled to carry Route 3, and she worked on routes 2 and Route 3.
I see. I mean, either way, I didn't approve her to be out that late. I mean, she didn't give me a 96 or anything that morning, so she really didn't have my permission to be out that long.
Okay, but when she was originally assigned to Route 3, she told you that she was going to be over by 3 hours, so you decided to move her to Route 2.
Right. So that way she would be done with that in time and then she could help on three.
Okay, so then she took 5.5 hours on Route 2, and then she did a little over 6 hours on Route 3. That gave her a total of 11.5 hours.
Right, but I did not give her permission to go take that long on either of those routes. So
Um,
she should have been done sooner than that.
Based on what?
Well, based on the estimates for the day.
The estimates from who?
Well, off of DOIS.
But DOIS is, like you just said, it's an estimate. And is she the regular carrier on either one of those routes?
Well, no, she's unassigned.
And did when she told you that she was going to be over in the morning and you didn't have her fill out a 3996 to approve or disapprove anything?
Well, no, she wasn't going to be over 8 hours on City 2, and that's what we told her to take for the day. And then she
Okay.
helped on City 3.
Um, she did more on City 3 than she did on City 2.
Right. But either way, there also wasn't anyone else available to do any of it. We had a carrier leave sick that day, so
Okay, so now what you're telling me is that there was nobody else to carry it, so you had her carry it. And at any point, did she tell you that she wasn't going to make it back in 10 hours?
she did. She told us, I believe she messaged on the scanner like we usually do at about 2 o'clock saying she was going to be going over.
Okay, and then did you give her any instructions?
I didn't personally know.
Did the supervisor give her any instructions?
I'm not sure. I'm not the supervisor that was there that day.
Okay. So what I was told and what I have here in my notes is that she was told to carry all of the mail. So if I was told, if it was me and the supervisor told me to carry all of the mail, then I would carry all of the mail till my route was done. Is that an unreasonable expectation?
I mean, no, I could see how it might be a little bit vague. Um, and you said, was that included? The information you gave me, those messages were in there? I'm gonna take a look at that really quick. Hang on 1 second here. Okay, so I do see that that was in the file that you gave me, that there were that exchange in the messages. Um, so I can agree there is a violation here. Um, but I mean, so what kind of settlement are we looking at? What are you asking for?
Well, since the carrier was originally scheduled for one route, and then you moved her to another route, and then still had her carry the route that she was originally scheduled for, she was working off of her assignment either way. Um, and since the carrier's on work assignment and not on the ODTL, I'm thinking that we're going to ask for the carrier to be paid at halftime in addition to the regular overtime that they already worked for the time that was over 10 hours.
Mm, I mean, I don't know if I can agree with that. I mean, that seems like you're just penalizing us for that. It seems a little bit high for this
Pay
violation.
somebody for halftime?
Right, for that whole hour and a half? And I mean, this isn't like it's a common thing in this office.
No. But the carrier doesn't want the overtime, and they were basically given no choice. So while you guys had no choice, neither did the carrier. So why should the carrier be punished?
Well, they're not getting punished. They already got paid that the penalty overtime.
Well, but they are getting punished because they didn't want it. It's not that
Hmm.
person's fault that the CCA went home sick.
Well, I just I don't know if we're going to be able to reach an agreement on this one. I feel like that's just you're trying to punish us.
Well, it's not a punishment. And if I asked for just you guys to cease and desist, where's my guarantee that that's not going to happen again next time you don't have a choice? I'm not saying it's a punishment, more like it's an incentive for it to not happen again.
Well, I can see where you're coming from, but I don't think I can agree to that.
Okay.
I think we
Um,
might just have to.
okay, but you do agree that there was a violation of that carrier's rights.
Yeah, I do agree that there was a violation, but I don't know if we can come together on a the settlement here that you want.
Okay. Well, then are you okay? Are we in agreement then that we can just send it up to the Formal A level and see if they can agree on a remedy for us?
I'm fine with that. We can do that.
Okay. All right.
Because I
Well,
just don't think we will come to an understanding.
okay. Well, thank you for your time. And I'm going to go back and do my route now.
Okay.
All right. Have a good day.
You too.
Now that we've finished with the Informal A meeting, we need to get our file folder ready for the Formal A Steward. So you're going to take your file folder and you're going to fill out this top part, and then you're going to put the date you had your Informal A meeting. Then you're going to enclose in that file folder your letter of certification that you're the steward for that office. Your branch president is probably the one that wrote the letter and sent it to the postmaster. The next thing you want to do is you want to put your 8190 in there. The 8190 is the form that controls the grievance and how it moves throughout the process. So you want to make sure that this top portion is filled out. You want to have the phone number for the grievant and all of that, so that when your Formal A looks at this, if they need to call that person, they can. You also want to make sure your name is on here. They want your initials and your phone number. Then you also want to have the supervisor sign it, initial it, and their phone number, just in case the Formal A person wants to call and ask questions about the Informal A meeting. Now you want to take and put the letter of warning, the letter of removal, the letter of suspension, the EP, whatever paper controlled that punishment or discipline, as it could be called, in that file. If it was a contract case, you want to put your paperwork that states what contract violation occurred. And then we're going to move on to loading up with all the information we've used to determine the grievance. Let's start with discipline. If there was a PDI or an II, you want to put the questions and answers and any notes that you took into that file folder. If you did any kind of interviews, you want to put those questions and answers in the folder. As you went through your investigation, you're probably going to look at M documents, C documents, the JCAM, the M39, the M41. Anything that you came across, you want to print it out or handwrite it and put that in the file. Make sure you put, if it was from JCAM Chapter 2, Section 5 or Section 510, or the ELM, Section 210-5 or something like that, you want to make sure that that is on there so that the Formal A person, if they want to, can go back and verify that the paperwork you have is actually what it is. If you had the carrier write a statement, or the person who feels grieved write a statement, put that statement in there. Pre-read the statement. Make sure it's detailed. Make sure they answer the who, what, when, where, why, how. Make sure that it gives everything that they need so that the Formal A can have a clear picture of what actually happened. They only get half the amount of time that we get as an informal to do their investigation. We get 14 days. Take advantage of those 14 days. The Formal A only gets 7. And a lot of times, Formal A's are also meeting at other offices on other grievances at the same week, possibly the same day. So we want to make sure to make their job as easy as possible and setting them up for success and not failure. The final thing that I would put in there, if you write your own statement as far as what you believe the grievance is, like, did supervisor so-and-so violate this, and this, and if so, what's the remedy? Then you list your facts, then you list your contentions, and then that last page would be your remedy and whether the supervisor and the steward agreed or disagreed. Put that in there. But at a bare minimum, if you don't write all that stuff out, it's okay. It's at the informal level. Write down what your statement is. Here is what the grievance is about. Here is what I felt the remedy should be. Here is if we agreed or we disagreed. And then you write your notes as this is why it's moving up to the Formal A level, like for the video we just watched. It's moving up not because we didn't agree there was a violation. It's moving up because we didn't agree with the remedy. You need to put all of those notes in there to make sure that the Formal A has a clear picture of what happened and they can move the grievance forward. If you have any questions, please ask someone at your branch. If the person at your branch that you talk to doesn't know, call your NBA's office. There are so many resources available to us now thanks to the internet. Please take advantage of them. Good luck with your grievances, and I hope you win.